The South China Sea is tense, a region fraught with geopolitical friction and strategic maneuvering. The waters are a theater of power plays, where nations assert their claims and test their limits. But today, September 22, 2025, all eyes are on Pagasa Island. This small island has become the focal point of international attention, a symbol of resistance and sovereignty. A new, long concrete runway now stretches across the island, the largest Philippine-held feature in the Spratlys. This runway is not just a strip of concrete. It represents a significant strategic asset for the Philippines. The first Philippine C-130 Hercules has just landed, its arrival echoing defiance toward the Chinese ships on the horizon. This landing is a statement, a bold declaration of presence and intent. For Pagasa's small Filipino community, the runway is both a lifeline and a lightning rod. It promises connectivity and development, yet it also brings the island into the crosshairs of regional tensions. Years of construction under the watchful gaze of the China Coast Guard have culminated in this moment. The project was a test of endurance and resolve, completed under constant scrutiny and pressure. The runway promises faster supplies, better medical access, and a stronger military presence. It is a crucial link for the island, enhancing its strategic importance and operational capabilities. But every meter poured was an act of defiance, and the finished runway is the boldest challenge to China's dominance in years. It stands as a testament to the Philippines' determination to assert its rights. Manila frames the project as a sovereign right, not aggression, an assertion of control within its exclusive economic zone, backed by international law. This narrative is crucial in garnering international support and understanding. Yet in these contested waters, every move triggers a reaction. The region is a delicate balance of power, where actions are closely monitored and responses are swift. The world is watching as this once remote outpost becomes a front line in a global power struggle. The developments on Pagasa Island are a microcosm of larger geopolitical dynamics at play. The runway is more than infrastructure. It's a symbol of a nation's refusal to be intimidated. It embodies the spirit of resilience and the pursuit of national interests. It's a calculated risk, betting that resolve and alliances can stand against overwhelming might. The Philippines is not alone. Its alliances provide a buffer and a source of strength. The dust from the C-130's landing has barely settled, but the strategic landscape has changed. The implications of this development will ripple across the region and beyond. The concrete spear of Pagasa is now aimed at the heart of the dispute, and the consequences are just beginning. This is a new chapter in the ongoing saga of the South China Sea, where the stakes are high and the future uncertain. Pagasa Island, or Thitu, is more than a speck in the South China Sea. It's the administrative heart of the Calayan municipality. Filipino civilians and a military garrison have made it a living claim, transforming a disputed rock into a functioning town. This human presence is a powerful counter to China's historical claims. Strategically, Pagasa sits at the center of the Spratlys, coveted for resources and shipping lanes. Control here means projecting power and protecting vital interests. For years, life on Pagasa was defined by isolation and Chinese harassment, with supplies arriving infrequently and under threat. Upgrading the runway was a lifeline, a declaration that the Philippines will not abandon its people or territory. With the new runway, Pagasa is now a more defensible bastion of sovereignty, anchoring the nation's claim deeper than ever. Building the Pagasa runway was not just a construction project. It was a logistical and political gamble that tested the limits of human determination and ingenuity. The remote location, far from the Philippine mainland, meant every step forward was hard-won. Manila knew that moving forward with construction would provoke a strong reaction from Beijing, but the government pressed on, shifting its strategy from mere diplomatic protest to bold, active development on the ground. This was a clear message. The Philippines would not back down. Every supply, cement, steel, machinery, had to cross treacherous seas, braving not only the unpredictable weather and rough waters, but also the constant threat of Chinese interference. Each delivery was a high-stakes mission, with crews on edge as they navigated contested waters. The coral foundation of the island demanded innovative engineering solutions. Tropical storms battered the site, and saltwater corrosion threatened to undo weeks of progress. Yet the engineers and workers adapted, finding new ways to keep the project moving forward. But the real challenge was geopolitical. Chinese Coast Guard and militia vessels swarmed the area, harassing supply ships and trying to delay the project at every turn. Tensions ran high as every encounter risked escalation. Filipino crews worked under constant psychological pressure, knowing that a single misstep or provocation could spark an international crisis. The stress was immense, but their resolve never wavered. Despite blockades, delays, and the ever-present threat of confrontation, the work never stopped. Day and night, crews pushed forward, determined to finish what they had started. Each meter of concrete poured was a small victory, a testament to resilience and teamwork in the face of intimidation. Every completed section brought new hope and pride to the workers. The Philippine Navy and Coast Guard played a tense game of cat and mouse, escorting supply convoys and standing guard against interference. Their vigilance was crucial in keeping the lifeline to Pagasa open. The completed runway is not just an engineering feat, it's a monument to courage, unity, and national resolve. It stands as a symbol of what can be achieved when a nation stands together. It stands as proof that the Philippines will not be bullied out of its sovereign rights no matter the odds or the obstacles placed in its path. The perseverance and bravery of the workers have changed not just the island but the entire region, forever shaping the future of the West Philippine Sea. The new 1.3-kilometer runway transforms Pagasa's strategic value. Previously, only small planes could land, and resupply was slow and dangerous. Now, C-130S can deliver troops, equipment, and supplies rapidly, reducing reliance on vulnerable sea routes. The runway enables fighter jets and patrol aircraft to operate from Pagasa, strengthening air and maritime defense. Medical evacuations and civilian support are now faster and safer. The island is more connected, resilient, and viable for its residents. This upgrade complicates China's calculations. Any aggression now carries higher risks. The runway extends the Philippine military's reach, serving as a forward base and deterrent. It's a strategic asset that shifts the balance, however slightly, back toward Manila. The Pagasa runway is a legal and diplomatic masterstroke. It's anchored in the 2016 Hague ruling, which invalidated China's 9-dash line and affirmed Philippine rights. By building on a long-held island, Manila enforces the arbitral award, contrasting China's artificial islands built on low-tide features. The project strengthens the Philippines' legal claim, with every flight and patrol reinforcing effective occupation. It's lawfare in action, creating facts on the ground, backed by international law and global support. Allies like the US, Japan, and Australia see the runway as a defense of the rules-based order. The runway turns legal principle into reality, rallying international support for Manila's cause. Pagasa's new runway stands in stark contrast to China's massive military fortresses in the Spratlys. On one side, you have a modest airstrip carved out of a remote Philippine island, while on the other, China's sprawling artificial islands dominate the horizon, bristling with military hardware. China's artificial islands boast 3,000-meter runways, deep harbors, radar domes, and advanced missile systems, each feature meticulously designed for power projection and rapid military deployment. These bases are not just outposts, they are symbols of China's ambition to control the South China Sea. In contrast, the Philippine runway is modest, defensive, and built on an existing island, not a new one dredged from the sea. It's a simple strip, lacking the scale and firepower of its Chinese counterparts, but it serves a vital purpose for the Philippines. Its main purpose is clear: logistics, community support, and credible deterrence. The runway enables the delivery of supplies, medical aid, and personnel, supporting both the military and the small civilian community that calls Pagasa home. It's about survival and resilience, not regional domination. By contrast, China's bases are offensive in nature, enforcing expansive maritime claims and intimidating neighboring countries. Warships and fighter jets are a constant presence, projecting strength and signaling Beijing's intent to control these contested waters. Pagasa's runway is a direct response to this pressure, securing a vital foothold for the Philippines and preventing the island from being isolated or cut off. It's a statement of resolve in the face of overwhelming odds. This is an asymmetric strategy, raising the cost of aggression for China, not by matching its might, but by making any hostile move more complicated and risky. The Philippines knows it cannot outbuild China, but it can make every inch of territory harder to take. The runway sends a powerful signal. The Philippines is no passive victim, but an active defender of its sovereignty and interests. It's a message to both allies and adversaries that the country will stand its ground. Any attempt to seize Pagasa would now be costly and fraught with risk, even for a power as large as Beijing. The island is no longer an easy target, but a defended outpost. The balance of power may be uneven, but the message is unmistakable. The Philippines will not yield, and Pagasa's runway stands as a symbol of national determination and hope in the face of overwhelming odds. The new runway tightens tensions in the South China Sea. Beijing sees it as a direct challenge, likely responding with more ships and aggressive maneuvers. The risk of miscalculation or escalation is higher than ever. Other Southeast Asian claimants may follow suit, sparking a regional military buildup. While the runway brings security, it also makes Pagasa a more prominent target. Residents now live on the front line, their home a strategic prize in a great power contest. The paradox, more protection but also more danger, defines life on this volatile edge. The Pagasa runway's strategic logic is inseparable from the US-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty. Washington's security guarantee emboldens Manila, deterring China from direct confrontation. US support includes military aid, training, and joint exercises, enhancing Philippine capabilities. The alliance, however, brings risks. China sees US presence as interference, raising the stakes. The Philippines must balance its need for US backing with the risk of being drawn into great power rivalry. The runway is a test case for the alliance's credibility and resolve. It's a Filipino project, but protected by the American shield. In this high-stakes drama, the alliance is both deterrent and potential flashpoint. For Pagasa's residents, the new runway brings hope and anxiety. Reliable flights mean better supplies, medical care, and a more sustainable community. Fishermen see a chance for safer livelihoods, with enhanced military patrols deterring Chinese harassment. Yet the runway also makes Pagasa a bigger target, and the threat of conflict looms. Children play on beaches within range of a superpower's weapons. The runway is a promise of protection, but also raises the stakes. The human cost of this dispute is real. Ordinary lives caught in a geopolitical storm. Their resilience is remarkable, but their future is uncertain. The hopes of Pagasa's people are tied to forces far beyond their shores. On this island, hope and fear coexist, balanced on the edge of peace and peril.